coming on. I appreciate you spending your evening with us. And also, you've been subscribed for quite some time, and I just really appreciate your ongoing support. I want to dive into your background. You've been in aviation since, did I see 1980?
Yeah, yeah, about a year older than you are. I
Hey, you
was
know what? I was born in
I did
81, so yeah, you're right.
I yeah, I started out life as an architect back in the 70s, and
Oh,
my minor in college was aerospace engineering. So since I could only have one, I picked architecture because unfortunately Jimmy Carter was canceling everything in engineering or in aerospace. So yeah, I went into architecture, did that while it at the same time building up a composites business where I built aircraft and prototyped small aircraft for racing and for special uses, and had a ball doing it and learning, and built three of my own.
oh
So
wow.
during that and then during that time, uh, when because two of those became racers at Reno Air Races and other international Formula One air races. And uh, but when I was racing, people liked the airplane and liked it enough and liked the construction, and I could do it for less than what other manufacturers could. I got a contract for a couple new aircraft, um, and those two aircraft, when they came out, and that was in 1995, got the eye of Lockheed Martin, and
Oh
I
wow.
had a job offer.
Big name.
Yeah, I had a job offer about 3 weeks after I got back from Reno that year. It said, "How would you like to come to work for uh, Lockheed?" And I said, "Well, absolutely. It's a dream shot." And they said, "Well, we've got a sort of a short-term job for you if you want. It's design." And I said, "Sure, let's go for it." And so I moved to the middle of the Mojave Desert in
Oh
California.
wow.
And yeah, four shades of brown, no rain. It's just horrible. But the work was really fascinating. Well, they liked what I did enough that it turned into a career. And 20 years later, I retired out of Lockheed, and as
Wow.
a technical fellow and a program manager. So I've had the career of a lifetime. Two actually. The architecture was good too.
You know what? We might be able to meet, Kevin, in the Centralia COVID. Let's just
COVID
say
came.
they're calling them a
Yeah,
camp, right? But
yeah,
for those
yeah.
watching,
Yeah,
so Kevin
COVID
lives in Washington State.
in
You're
Yakima,
central. Okay.
Washington, which is yeah,
Okay.
it's
So you're
central,
central
very very red,
Washington.
very cowboy. Yeah, very red and very
Yeah.
cowboy.
And that's the thing. People don't realize that. So you're in the state of Washington. I'm what, 4 hours from you in the Portland, Oregon area. But the thing is, we just have been made aware within the past, oh gosh, 24, 48 hours that they are building, I'm just calling them what they are. They're concentration camps for unvaccinated that have COVID, right? And so they're building a massive one in Centralia, Washington, which is about 2 hours north of Portland. I've only been there for a rest stop on my drive to Seattle, and when I looked at
Yeah,
a COVID camp map, it said that that one location would support the entire West Coast. And when you and I were talking, you compared it to something from Nazi Germany. What was it Auschwitz?
Auschwitz for the whole European nation, Jewish
Right.
nation.
So you think about this one location that's in the process of being built. There's footage of it. And it says it's a camp. But they talk about it like it's some wonderful retreat where you're going to just have a nurse and doctor just waiting on you hand and foot. But that's where anyone in our state, my state, your state of California, as of right now, would be sent to. um, and I
Yep.
feel quite uneasy about it. So, so
Yeah,
I'm joking when I say, hey, we might meet there, but it's a real sick reminder of where we've come from as a world and where we're heading right now. Is it frustrating as heck for you, like it is for me, when someone says to you, because you're not in Seattle, but Seattle dictates your state. And I same with
yeah,
me. I'm not right in Portland, but Portland dictates the entire state of Oregon. Does it drive you as crazy as it drives me when people say you voted for him?
yeah, it
That
does.
lights me up.
Washington State, yeah, Washington State has 8 million people roughly. 4 million of those live in two counties around Seattle, Pierce and King County. Those two counties are blue. Most of the rest of the state is red. Even northern
Right,
coastal areas are southern coastal areas are mixed. They're purple, and eastern, well, central and eastern are all red except for Spokane, and Spokane's fairly small percentage of the
right,
number. However, you take King, Pierce County, and Spokane, and you have a majority. There's no way to get around it. Uh,
right,
the cowboys and the farmers, uh, they're like the Eastern Oregon uh, cowboys and farmers. They're left out.
right.
So,
Yeah,
Portland,
exactly.
Portland, Portland, and Salem pretty much run Oregon too.
Australia, but speaking of camps, I mean, we've seen how camps have played out in Australia. People waiting to be fed because they're not getting the attention that they need. It's insane, and so we're seeing in our very region something modeling after what Australia has already done, and we see it's not going well there. I was going to point something out. I have this book, I Love a Cop, right? And I've been quite outspoken about how Blue Lives Matter, but there are exceptions. And when it comes to those who are oath breakers, and I think
Uh-huh.
about the A. I love A Cop. I have a good one here at home, but the thing is, I look at what's happening in Australia, and you've probably seen it too. The way the police are treating their citizens, and one was just choking a woman because she wasn't wearing a mask and wasn't complying. Um, and then, but on the flip side, I just saw today that in Italy, Italian police officers are standing with with the protesters, and they've taken their helmets and their bats off, and they're standing in solidarity with them, which is so great to see. Because law enforcement
Mm-hmm.
has gone full on, not necessarily in the States, but full on brown shirt. And wow, it's crazy. He's applying for political asylum in North Korea. Oh man. I mean, seriously. I know you're kidding, but when North Korea looks appealing, that's when you know we're in trouble.
You were talking about cops. You were talking about the cops going brown shirt. Those are pretty
Yeah.
selective, though. Um, I know here in Central Washington, the cops are they're not for any mandates. They will not enforce any mandates, and they would just as soon throw the governor Jay Inslee into the bay.
Varsity game. I went with my family. I knew that with Inslee's proclamations, you have to have 500 people to go into a game, or they'll have to police it and do the mask thing, okay, outside, which is already insane. But anyway, to play Inslee's games, they weren't even playing Inslee's game. So I went to the ticket booth with my family of five, and I'm ready to watch a football game with my family, right? Have a good time on a Friday night. And so I went up to the booth, and there was a lady with papers with a list. Your name had to be on a list to go into the football game. Insane. I don't know why there's a list. I don't know if it has something to do with like tracking or whatever. But at this point, I'm really alarmed, and I think this is really wrong, because I went around the stadium and there was clearly not 500 people in the stands in the stadium. And they actually lied, and they did not give sufficient adequate information to the public, to the community and the families here in La Center, at La Center High School, to for people to understand how do you get on the list? What's the list? What's that all about? You know what I mean? So I told the lady when she had the list, I said, this is like Nazism. Do you understand how crazy this is? I'm just here to watch a football game with my family. I just want to go in the stands. Like, why do I have to be on the list? There's not even close to 500 people here. And, it was like maybe 200 or 300. So anyway, so I walked off, went around the side gate fencing, and I started doing a live video. Okay, I'm on Justyne Stims on Facebook. You can also find me at Telegram, La Center Lioness. I just started that. So there's a lot of videos. You can go check it out. They're really short and sweet, describing the whole situation. So anyway, the superintendent came at me, okay, like at the fence, saying I need to stay away from the ticket booth. And I said, why? What do you, what's going on? Because I was talking about, there's not 500 people in the stands, Mr. Pete. And by the way, let me remind you, I am a loud voice in the community, right? I go to the school board meetings, that I'm targeted. It just is the fact. He already doesn't like me. I've been doing the emailing. I've been doing all the things. And so having all these discussions, right? There's so many issues. So he did not like that I went to his booth, because it's his, right? To ask questions about the list. And I just was appalled by the whole thing. So then I went back. He told me to stay away from the booth, okay? What? So I waited like 30 minutes. We're still watching the game on the side fence with my family. And I'm talking to other families that were also turned away that couldn't get in because they were insane. So I went back around to the booth, the ticket booth, and I asked the ladies, and I have it all on video. I asked, how many tickets have you gotten tonight? How many people have come into the game? They couldn't tell me. In fact, they got on their walkie-talkie to bring in the athletics director to talk to me about, oh, we're capping it at $4.99, Justyne. So, we got to do this. So we are not mass policing. I said, there's not 500 people in the stands. Nowhere close. I'd like to come in the football game. So anyway, still couldn't get in, right? And all of this, I'm blown away. So then I left that situation, walked back around to the fencing. The superintendent comes at me again and to the fencing. And this part of it, I did not get on video, which I did. I wish I did. But anyway, he comes at me and says, you are harassing my ticket booth. You need to leave. You need to leave now. You need to leave. What? I'm not. I didn't cause one conflict. There wasn't like a big scene. There was no cussing, none of that stuff. I just held them accountable, right? I called their bluff. And I was like, this is wrong. Let me into a football game. What's up with this list? Insane. And anyway, he called the police. Okay. So I stayed there, and he came at me, towards me again, and I have that all on video. And the next time he came over to me, he says, the police are coming, and they never did come. But they did call me later that night and said, hey, the school's trespassing you from school property. Wait, what? So this is insane. I said, I have no idea what they're trying to trespass me for. I've done nothing wrong, nothing illegal. This is all disturbing, officer. This is illegal. Okay, null and void. I have rights here. I feel like very violated at this point. And because my daughter goes to school there. I mean, we're homeschooling now, but my daughter goes there for soccer games. And so we're still participating in the sports. And plus, in the community, if somebody wants to go to a football game, they should be able to go to an outdoor football game. And he had it out for me, that's for sure. And so the officer said I would be arrested if I went back the next day. And I with long thinking and talking to a lot of my other friends, and even somebody in the Clark County Courthouse, who had said that I needed to received some kind of document, right? Like receive a notice, a real trespass notice, right? With describing the situation. Never once did I receive that, and or email or anything like that until 5 days after Friday. Okay. Just a couple days ago. And then it's just, so anyway, I went back the next day. I was afraid in a way because, I knew I might get in trouble, but I wasn't sure what that would look like. But I was like, you know what? Freedom is worth fighting for. I have a right to be here. I'm a mama that wants to watch her daughter play a soccer game. I can go. I'm going to go. I don't feel in my spirit that I did anything wrong. They are in the wrong, and I'm calling them on it. So I sat in the stands. I videoed everything. The superintendent was sitting like 4 rows behind me, and I was there with my family. He went to the JV game, and then I came in for the varsity game. So I'm videoing, and what ended up happening was he confronts me and says, "You need to leave. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here, Justyne." I said, "No, I'm not trespassed. I haven't received anything. This is all wrong, and you know this is wrong. And this is, I'm just calm and collected throughout all of this. Okay, all my videos and everything else." And I said, "This is seriously coercion, like what you're doing, and illegal." And so he walked off, and he called the police, and they came, and there was 2 of them, which I guess I'm a real threat. And anyway, it's just crazy. So when they talked to me out by the stands, and they said I need to leave. And they said they want you gone. That's what one officer actually said, exact words. I felt very violated, and so I'm facing charges of that so-called trespass at this point. And I'm rallying. In fact, my hair is all wet because we were outside standing in the rains because we've had 3 days of rallies. Yesterday was a little smaller, but today is a lot bigger here in our small town. And it was exciting. Like, I'm trying to raise awareness and like, hey, mamas, come together. We got to fight. We got to be these lioness, like, hello, freedom fighters here. I can't believe how I'm being treated. So I'm just exposing all of it. And I went on the school board meeting 2 nights ago and had a little bit of discussion, but I didn't try to get into the trespass part, but we did comment in the chats because they went back to Zoom. Anyway, so in a nutshell, that's kind of how the whole story went out.
Okay, and I've been saying for a while, every patriot. There's a bunch of people that call themselves patriots. Okay, but calling themselves patriots is more than just say I am a patriot. Uh, so you have to do something. You can't
Yep,
just sit and
absolutely.
not do anything. So
Yeah, they're trying to keep me from my daughter's soccer games at this point. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I get to go watch my daughter play soccer. You can't keep me from watching her. I mean, I have rights here.
exactly. And the funny thing is, the first thing they do is what? We're gonna call the cops, right?
Intimidate. Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
intimidate. And those are the same people they're probably 2 days before we're talking about let's defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.